All right, welcome back to Sharp Edge News TV Concise News Report from around the world. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. Anyway, on this episode, as usual, I have the delectable High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun, the editor-in-chief of SharpEdgeNews.com, and we're going to cover quite a few things today. We have news around Finance Willis, Trump, Elder Tinubu. I'm just kidding. But we have a lot going on. That's the point. We have a lot going on. But we're going to keep it concise, of course. But we just wanted to come to you. Please let us know your opinions in the comment. Do us a favor. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and follow everywhere. We're doing fantastically well. We're now up to 56 subscribers on YouTube and quite a few followers on Facebook. And we have no plan to stop, as I always say. You're watching Sharp Edge News TV. Today we have the leading report today, special Sharp Edge News report about the bandit strike again. 12 killed, 17 houses razed in Kaduna. I'm just seeing this just before we got on the show, so I'm just going to yield the floor to High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun to give us that report, and then we'll get into the rest of the story for the week. Welcome, Chief.
Thanks so much, Ola, for bringing me back. Hello out there. It's so nice to be connected again with you, our viewing audience from all over the world, wherever you're watching us from. For some people, it's good morning. In some places, good afternoon. And in some other climes, it's good evening. So nice having your company. The report that has just been read is one of those disturbing situations that we have, as they were from Africa, particularly Nigeria. The crocodile state of Kaduna, not central, or they say sometimes we don't really know the geopolitical zone that is so clear cut for grouping the state of Kaduna or Kaduna state. They don't say state of, those states. I mean, in Nigeria. Remember when Osun State gambled along their path under Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola as the state governor, talking of a state of Osun. That raised so much constitutional dust, and today they are back to being referred to as Osun State. So, Kaduna State in Nigeria,
right.
The recurrent situation is that some crisis merchants have decided to continue to violate the hitherto serene and peaceful atmosphere in that loving northwest state of Nigeria. Early this morning, the village somewhere, Dutse, in Kaduna State, had bandits invading and setting about 17 houses on fire, getting 12 worthy citizens of Nigeria killed. In fact, some reports are describing very gory situation of people being incinerated. It couldn't get it couldn't get lower than that. It's almost like humanity is being stretched beyond tolerable limit in Nigeria every day. And to think that there is a government in place whose duty, so to say, is to protect lives and properties, is it that they are looking elsewhere while these people continue to record what in their twisted mind will be successes. Because if you call this success for bad guys, then what do you think we would describe the the lofty ideals for being positive? How do we describe that? So what we have in Kaduna State right now has gone beyond what anybody would accept as being the new normal. And people have been fingered in the different, in the crisis that we have across the state over time. Remember in the days of General Badamasi, Ibrahim Babangida as military president of Nigeria, there were people, especially from southern Kaduna, particularly that belt that was described, or the local government that is known as Zango Kataf, where General Zamani Lekwot came from. They sensed they were an endangered tribe. They tried to resist. What did the government do? The government then took side. Even went to the extent of sentencing General Zamani Lekwot to death for daring to organize a civil resistance against onslaught from killer squads everywhere that had laid siege on the people of southern Kaduna. Today, it has transmogrified to another phase. People no longer see the siege from all kinds of dangerous forces against minority clans and tribes in the state of Kaduna. Now they talk of bandits invading, taking people, and demanding huge ransoms. Only 3 days ago, there was another violent incident in which a prized individual, a former CBN top-notch operative, Central Bank of Nigeria operative, was killed. So, for how long will this continue? Everywhere you look in Nigeria, we have mentioned this. On the plateau, the blood of innocent citizens continue to water the plains. In states like Zamfara, it's even so disturbing that people have to organize ransoms and unfair taxes to pacify bandits so that their communities will have relative peace. It's just relative peace, not total peace. Taraba, South-South, Southeast, Southwest. So we will ask, where exactly can somebody say that there is that one can find anything that looks like respite, that looks like safety, refuge in Nigeria? This is one thing the government must respond to. Some people were talking of accusation of Tucano, this and that, as if the push against banditry, against terrorism, against kidnapping, against modern-day slavery, subjugation, whatever form of evil is being visited upon innocent Nigerians. Everybody was looking at it as if, oh, the acquisition of Tucano jet from America was going to be a kumbaya situation. Hallelujah, by and by. It is settled, you know. But everybody is disillusioned right now. The government of Nigeria has to do something. And if there are people living in Kaduna State that are complicit in all this crisis situation, they should be identified, speedily brought to trial. If found guilty, let them suffer the consequence in terms of the standard that is acceptable to the system of law in Nigeria. This is, I mean, one danger against a community in Nigeria is danger against all. This is what we must know, and this is what we must prepare against. And Nigeria right now is fiddling and is pretending to be great, yet that greatness is being eroded by the hour.
Hmm.
So which way Nigeria? I give credit for that kind of questioning to the late Nigerian uh, musician, Sonny Okosu.
Hmm. All right, thank you so much for the special report. We do have some other stories to cover today, and we'll be back in about 20 seconds. All right, let's talk about Donald Trump. let's let's talk about Donald Trump. It's a quick. Let me just read a short part of this report. Trump hawks. Well, we have Fani Willis testifies, and Trump also $399 branded shoes as sneaker con after $355 million ruling. And this is according to a report. Says as he closes in on the Republican presidential nomination. Oh wow, it's closing in. Interesting. Former President Donald Trump made a highly unusual stop Saturday, hawking new Trump-branded sneakers, golden sneakers, at SneakerCon, a gathering that bills itself as the greatest sneaker show on earth. Of course, Trump was met with loud boos as well as cheers at the Philadelphia Convention Center as he introduced what he called the first official Trump footwear. The shoes' shiny gold high tops with an American flag detail on the back are being sold as Never Surrender high tops. Never Surrender high tops for $399 on a new website that also sells other Trump branded shoes. You have to give it up to him. He does not give up.
Remember, beyond doing well in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
he secured a place for himself in television history.
In history, yes.
Yeah, he hate him, love him. You must give it to Donald Trump that he's a salesman and he knows how to pitch for whatever he wants to use to make some money off the public. And would that be a crime in a capitalist system? Certainly not. But then, could some of these things be interpreted as being dangling stuff at vulnerable individuals or members of the public at times? Yes. He is good at doing that. But at what cost? See, instantly, you would say Nero was fiddling while Rome was on fire. But it's the public that ought to maintain eternal vigilance now that latch on to Donald Trump as their icon, as their symbol of American, you see, trying to enjoy that American spirit of yes, we'll go for whatever pleases us. This is the man that is giving them everything they think they can lash on to. But the question has to be asked, make America great again. Everybody thought, oh, it would stimulate
everybody
demand for American-made goods. So we will ask, this branded Trump shoes, gold top and everything, they are priced as they come. Are they made in America? The money that is...
That's a good question.
Yeah, are they being rolled out of some production line in China? Remember, that's the country says, or he said the other day that he will look up to. But like we have paraphrased the former American Secretary of State and later Democratic Party presidential candidate, Mrs. Hillary Clinton. She said, Donald Trump will brag about all these things, but when it is time to look Vladimir Putin eyeball to eyeball, Chinese strongman eyeball to eyeball, that you can trust that Donald Trump will bring the wimp in him out of the bag. So we look at whether it is the ongoing trial for trying to twist the result of the election in the state of Georgia, for which Ms. Williams, the state prosecutor, has been accused, has been so much mud thrown at her, and the accusation that she had betrayed public trust by engaging a secret lover to be one of the people leading the charge, the prosecutorial charge against Donald Trump. Whether you are considering that, or you are looking at the 365 million fine for the fraudulent act, is no longer alleged, because has made a pronouncement.
They've made a judgment, right? Yep.
Yeah, they gave a judgment, a ruling that Donald Trump, his company, his real estate company,
they can't work for 3 years.
Yeah, that they cook. Yes, that what?
They can't work for 3 years in New York.
Yeah, and that they cooked the books concerning the tax man over the years in that state.
Right.
Donald Trump himself is always arguing that, oh, this is a witch hunt. You cannot catch him at anything. He's always...
He has to come back for everything.
No, you know the traditional African or Yoruba saying, Asekula Gbanseron.
Asekula Gbanseron.
Yeah, that is Donald Trump for you.
That's true.
He is going to deny himself out of every tight rope, every tight corner. So,
wow.
If we continue to prepare a catalog, a chronicle of the troubles that continue to dog Donald Trump, whether he makes it to the White House this second time or not, which will be his third attempt. The first time he won, second time he lost. This third attempt, would he win? But surely issues like this continue to be serious orders for him. I mean, that he would have to cross for him to really impact the political landscape. If he wins, it will be a major miracle. Remember, his friend Vladimir Putin in Russia presently is being accused of being responsible for a suspicious murder of a major political opponent while in prison this last Friday. And President Joe Biden in America has laid the blame for that death clearly at the feet of Vladimir Putin, that he is responsible. The wife of the politician that was suspected of having been murdered by the state or agents acting at the BS of Mr. Donald Trump. The wife is all over Europe rallying and making serious outcry against this kind of instinct. So it's about not just Donald Trump trying to throw up organized pigtails for a product, the struggle to have in his positive folio victory in Michigan or Pennsylvania or wherever the battle goes, South Carolina against Nikki Haley. All these troubles are there for him, and then don't forget the epic and dramatic trial for leading an insurrection is still there.
Finish your thoughts, sir.
You said?
I said finish your thoughts, sir.
That's right.
Because I have a question for you.
Yeah, wherever Donald Trump goes, it is one day now, one trouble, and this is what is going to define him as this election season continues to progress. And Mr. Donald Trump, there is something about him. That incurable optimism in every politician.
Right.
But
That's
if he
another
successfully
statement.
clinches the Republican Party ticket,
Uh-huh.
like we have always projected, like we have always uh, said, that is going to really bring out the base of
That
the
was going to be
Democratic
my
Party.
question for you. That was going to be my question for you.
Right.
I don't want to make it an absolute question, but do you think at this point that there's a very extremely high chance he's going to secure the Republican nomination?
It looks like he will do that. I
Okay.
mean,
Now, the follow-up
there are
question is
adequate
this.
pointers. There are adequate pointers.
Okay.
Remember, he has political lackeys in the Congress. I mean, in Congress, in so many uh, strategic and critical positions and places,
Okay.
and he only needs to signal they get it. For example, what he has said they should do to stonewall certain processes, which they have listened to. These things are there. He is a man of immense influence, and it looks like Republican Party effectively has become Donald Trump's
Donald Trump's
party.
party.
Yes,
DTP.
that's right. That's right.
Interesting. Now, if he secures a nomination, do you feel that automatically kill his chances of ever becoming the president again?
If he secures it,
Yeah.
see, these people, they are crafty and they are so smart. On my way from church this afternoon, I stopped by to do Chinese stuff, and I met two guys who asked if I was a registered voter. Yes, with enthusiasm. I am an American and I'm registered to vote. And they said I should sign a petition. They are floating a new political party. And I told them, no, I'm registered as an independent. And if I do this, I intend to swing the vote in favor of whoever, whether, I mean, I'm at liberty to
Right.
drop my swing vote for whoever I want, whether in Democratic Party, whether in Republican Party. But my suspicion is that these proliferating political parties, the small ones, they are being nursed and nurtured to take away of them, to chunk away or to take away a chunk of votes that would that would deliver effective victory for whoever. It is too early to know who these splinter political groups are working
Right.
for.
Right.
But you can always trust because they have done it in this country repeatedly. Green Party, all kinds of parties, and you can be sure they will come. So wherever they swing, or wherever they work for, they are signing petitions seriously right now to make sure that they present candidates. But can they really go far against the behemoth two political parties of the Democratic Party and Republican Convention?
Nope.
We continue to watch and maintain our neutrality.
We shall see. All right. Do us a favor, please. You're watching Sharp Edge News TV. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow, and turn up your notifications so you are notified whenever we go live. We'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, welcome back. Falana's strong message to Tinubu. That's SAN, Femi Falana's strong message to Tinubu on fuel, electricity, and subsidy. There's a report here on New Telegraph NG. It says President Bola Tinubu-led federal government have been urged by human rights lawyer Femi Falana, SAN, to resist pressure from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to raise fuel and electricity costs. Falana, in a statement issued on Saturday, urged the government to stop implementing the risky IMF recommendations, which include eliminating subsidies and floating the naira. the senior advocate of Nigeria, who doubled as the chair of the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, ASCAB, said the international intruder should be questioned for holding Nigeria and the United Kingdom to different standards rather than implementing the IMF's recommendation. So, Chief, let me let you go, right? But before I let you go, this is the interesting part for me when it comes to these conversations. You know, most people having a conversation around all of this, either we're talking about the Forex exchange, the foreign exchange, or the economy, or the price of egg that has now become 300 naira in Nigeria. Like when people are having this conversation, I don't think they really realize how much pressure, influence, or how much pressure and influence comes from all around the world, even beyond the borders of Nigeria, when it comes to how things operate. So I find this interesting. I kind of like the angle that the SAN is going, pinpointing that he understands that some of this influence are coming from outside. However, you need to be checking, the double checking before you implement some of this recommendation. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Oh, thank you very much. Let's give it up for the human rights crusader. In fact, I see him as Africa as a civil rights champion. I look beyond his profile as a human rights attorney. You only need to view the totality of the struggles that are being championed by people like Mr. Falana and others, vis-a-vis that landmark book written years ago by Rodney Water, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And this last week, Mr. Falana has been in major mainstream media networks crying out loud about the downside of suggestions being made for deregulation and removal of subsidies by the Bretton Woods institutions of World Bank, IMF, and International Financial Corporation. But particularly, he was really zeroing in on IMF and the World Bank. And the panacea, they have said Africa, or Nigeria in particular, would have to embrace, remove subsidy on energy, to complement what has already been removed on fuel and other critical, sectors of the economy. And the response of the government of the day, you will remember that also another rights advocate, Omoyele Sowore, was on television on Thursday. I think that was his birthday when he turned 53 years old. And everybody was expecting him to roll out all this, the drums for celebration. And he said no. And they wanted him to comment.
Trust him.
They wanted him to comment on his freedom. He said no. He brought back everybody to the moment in history when he predicted that it would be wrong to remove subsidy and that would do nothing other than to complicate the economic woes of Nigeria.
Right.
And he was standing almost like, yes, he told everybody. He was the prophet that was ignored. He was the person that was treated like he was a political nobody. And that now is been vindicated.
Inconsequential. Inconsequential.
Yeah. I would not use such words on a good friend like him.
Right.
And somebody.
That's what the Baba said.
Yeah,
the Baba politician.
Yes. They almost treated him as if his views did not matter. And at the end of the day, maybe he arrived at his position through some critical thought process. And he said it's been vindicated. And that Nigeria was going on downward spiral. So thanks to people like Mr. Femi Falana, they see beyond what the ordinary folks on the street can see.
Right.
Why is Nigeria in economic dire straits? It's so simple. People borrow all kinds of money. The money is not used to stimulate production.
And they're borrowing money to service the loans.
Yeah, industries, infrastructures, and improvement on a social social spending, education, health, and what have you. So Nigeria's population is for the majority, so sick and becoming so laid back. And private education institutions have now outnumbered public institutions. Even those private educational institutions are not they are not properly, maintained. They are not properly
built. They can't be, because they'll be for profit. They're for profit. So,
but if you're making profit on something, you have to invest on it so that its performance can be optimal. Service delivery can be second to none. It is not like that in Nigeria. You find people willing to take away from the system and returning very little to improve.
Yeah, but if you're capable of, if you're capable of making profit without putting the need of the children first, if it's possible to maximize profit without putting, they're going to do exactly that. And when the other person does it and get away with it,
to allow for that is also criminal.
Right.
To allow for such a mentality, for such a mode of operation, to run a national economy, a national system like that, whether in education, health, and other facets. It's evil. That is what Mr. Femi Falana was harping on, that Nigeria must get its priorities right. And some people have expressed the sentiment that, he was trying to stir up social upheaval to instigate the populace. Does anybody need to instigate anybody that is already hungry? Somebody, honestly, we don't want to make light of this serious situation.
You're right, that's true.
What I'm saying is that Mr. Femi Falana actually nailed it. And he has given expression to the thoughts on the minds of several Nigerians, whether home or abroad. He simply, and I'm surprised that, because I was almost going to be cynical about the role of Mr. Femi Falana, and his well-known antecedent as somebody that has associated with many of the people who are in this administration. There was even a time he tried to run for governor in his home state of Ekiti on the platform of the so-called progressives. But now I think the wisdom that has come with his age is that he knows that these are not the kind of progressives he would have loved to float with, because he is crying like the prophet in the wilderness now, that lonely voice, or that lone voice saying that things are hard for Nigerians, and that there is double standard between what IMF, World Bank recommend for nations of Africa and what they want their own system to do in America and Europe. Africans too. I think that is what Mr. Femi Falana wants us to understand. Africans too are human beings. And you cannot operate two sets of rules when you are dealing with the human race as a unit. That would be nothing but grievous human disaster. That would be nothing other than moral and economic hypocrisy.
Yes, sir. All right. Okay, good. Just want to make sure you still hear me. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
all right, so here's what we're going to do. Do me a favor, okay, as always, because we're trying to build a platform. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. And we'll be back in 20 seconds to talk more. All right, welcome back. So we're gonna continue to talk about Sowore. That happens to be our next story here. So even Sowore is the editor of the editor and the publisher of SharpEdgeNewsTV.com.
The editor in chief.
The what?
He is the editor in chief and the publisher.
Publisher.
Reporter.
Yes, Sahara Reporters. So I'm actually reading this headline from Sahara Reporter. It says, breaking: Sowore's legal team to move motion in court Monday to strike out Nigerian government's treasonable felony case against activists. The legal team representing Revolution Now, #Revolution Now convener Omoyele Sowore will on Monday ask the Federal High Court in Abuja to strike out the Nigerian government's treason case against the activists. Sowore's legal team, led by Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, will move a motion to strike out the case known as FGN versus Omoyele Sowore and Olawale Bakari. This comes after President Bola Tinubu's administration noted that it would discontinue its treason case against the former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC. Sahara Reporters learned on Sunday that Sowore's legal team, led by Falana, would move the motion. You get the gist. Anyway, the news that we got was that on Thursday, Friday, on his birthday, was that this case is going to be thrown out of court after since what year are we? 2024? 5 years. 2019. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice in the country, in Nigeria, so to say, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has reportedly told the court that the federal government was no longer interested in continuing this matter with Mr. Omoyele Sowore, or against Mr. Omoyele Sowore, and the other activist, Bakari, that was that were charged under this strange indictment or situation. I find it so strange because ordinarily, what he was involved in, which is a legal team led by Mr. Femi Falana, has argued was that this charge was not sustainable and that it will not stand. But against wise counsel, the federal government decided to play the ostrich. They needed, the crowd in Jerusalem needed somebody to be sacrificed for something.
Yes, of
course. And they chose upon the strategic feast of Passover to say, someone must be nailed to the cross, must be crucified. I think that is what the federal government has basically done in the case of Mr. Omoyele Sowore. Nobody can argue this case better than Sowore himself, because even when observers, individuals, learned attorneys came from America and they looked at everything, the sum total of the observation was that this is nothing other than something protected by free speech. But I even doubt if Nigeria takes seriously its constitutional provision on freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of association, the right to protest, and be given police protection. Those were the things that Sowore was involved in. Anyway, from time immemorial. Pa Michael Imodu, the outstanding labor leader during Nigeria anti-colonial struggle in the 1940s, was arrested for being involved in major strikes, particularly the coal miners' situation of the time. He was sent to prison. He came out as a people's champion. Nnamdi Azikiwe was handed into exile, so much so that he had to be publishing some of his landmark media stuff from places like then Cape Coast, Ghana. Obafemi Awolowo too before independence, Nigerian founding fathers were given such treatment. And after President Aminu Kano, all these credible leaders were given same treatment. And after Nigeria's independence, you saw the epic clash, face-off between federal might and regional forces in Nigeria that dovetailed, that later took us to the first military revolution in the country, and later the civil war that was so costly in terms of human lives and the resources to Nigeria. So it's almost like sustaining that pattern. The police in Nigeria behaving like a colonial constabulary and going after Sowore like that, broken nose. Judge running from his bench
Jesus.
while Sowore was being kidnapped in his presence, wigs flying off his head. This is a country that should protect its citizens. Whatever that citizen would have said must be seen as being legitimate because people just want good life. So congratulations to Bola Tinubu for discontinuing with the questionable and worrisome legacies of Muhammadu Buhari. Buhari did not do well when it comes, with his performance with the protection of civil rights in Nigeria. He did not do well. And Sowore was able to give him, Sowore was, without throwing a punch, Sowore has been able to dent him for life. That is something that would define Buhari forever. That is the footnote on him in Nigeria's history, the chronicle of Nigeria as a nation.
Wow.
Yes, he does not change. Buhari does not change. He should hear this. If he's watching this, he should hear this. It does not change. I cannot imagine him being listed as one of Nigeria's best leadership or military strategists. Never. I cannot imagine that. In 1983,
right,
before he struck, leading the coup that took Shehu Shagari off, a criminal conduct for that matter, for which he was rewarded over and over. People
multiple times.
Him. Yes, people celebrating him as being disciplined and being attacked. He's corrupt. When you plot coup, you are a corrupt person. When you use a gun to sack, duly elected leaderships, there's nothing good about you. There is no discipline in that for a soldier, for that matter. But he did it, got away with it. But what did he do? I was one of the journalists who had the luck, the good fortune of interviewing the late Dr. Umaru Diko. I do not seek to rehabilitate him by whatever means. I would not know all the details, and no journalist can pretend to know. We all just try to follow the fact of history by way of caution. We proceed with caution. But he told me it was because he had inside knowledge that people like Buhari were going to strike and that they were carrying out fifth columnist operations to discredit the elected administration of Shehu Shagari. That was why he was targeted and blackmailed. I never stole a dime. When I interviewed him in his house in Asokoro in Abuja, Umaru Diko told me that, look, he had floated a political party. That was in 1998, 1999. Everybody thought he still kept part of the alleged 4 billion naira loot. Whenever they came to him that they wanted to join his party, they wanted him to bring out the money so that they could have their share of a phantom 4 billion naira that Buhari and the Diagbon had alleged that he stole. That man said he never stole a dime. What did he do? What did Buhari do when he got into power? He tried to create that man with the assistance of Israeli, what's it called? People that were identified as Israeli secret service agents, Mossad operatives. He failed. But years later, that was what he tried against Nnamdi Kanu, who is sitting somewhere now, having been created from Kenya to Nigeria. Same strategy, nothing changes. Same strategy, you change Naira under the watch of unsuspecting citizens, and you get hailed for trying to go after corrupt people. But you target the wrong people and you total the economy. The same thing.
Yeah.
And what has he done? against somebody like Omoyele Sowore. Of course, they couldn't say Sowore has stolen any money. Revolution now. If somebody is asking for revolution, it means he wants you to change your mindset.
Yeah.
He wants something to change about a system that is not working. And then they dramatize that and wasted so much money. After you have met Sowore severally. You
I
know
met
that
him
this guy,
once.
okay? Even
Yeah.
that once. What did you notice about him? This is an harmless guy.
Yeah, Sowore is not. Okay, so let's be fair. Sowore is not harmless exactly. Physically speaking, yes.
The only thing that makes him harmful is that he speaks the truth to power.
Well, the truth hurts. So that's not harmless.
Yeah, that is being harmless. You know those who are dangerous.
The truth
You
hurts.
know those who are dangerous, Ola?
Oh,
When people use the money, they use arms and what do you call it? Military hardware, bought with taxpayers' money.
So we can say
citizens. That is what is dangerous.
So we can say he's harmless to the innocent. It's not harmless to people that have bad.
Okay,
to do.
good reason, Ola. If somebody is innocent, if somebody is harmless to the innocent,
right? Nobody is speaking up.
If you have cobwebs in your wardrobe, that is when you begin to fear somebody who is only equipped with the power of truth.
Yes.
That is the sad situation. So congratulations to Sowore. He has said that he's been vindicated. What can we say? Let us wish him a belated happy birthday.
Wish him the best.
The very
belated
Believe,
birthday. Yes.
I believe that Nigeria is waiting for this young man. He's no longer young at 53. Oh. The people we used to celebrate in those days as fathers of the nation, they were not even in their 50s or 40s.
Yeah, it's not a youth. So it's the person we need.
He is the man. He is one man Nigeria needs. I dare not call him the only man for Nigeria.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, because of what I understand about power.
Of course, it is possible. Let me tell you. If today PDP.
Okay, I take that back. I don't think it's probable. I think it's possible. I don't think it's probable. That's what I wanted to say.
It is both probable and possible. Let me tell you. If PDP is seriously thinking of reinventing itself today.
Did you say PDP? Sowore is not joining anybody's party now. You know that now.
He may not want to join, but dynamics of power is that when a nation is ready for that game changer, everybody will be calling for him.
Okay, so it's possible, but it's not probable. I agree with that. It's not the chances that a PDP would just suddenly turn over his head and Sowore would just say, "Let me turn off my coconut head so I can join PDP." I don't see it.
You know that PDP also would want to fight for its soul, for its survival.
I think it's more probable that PDP will die off completely than Sowore ever becoming the president.
It will not die because that does not even help because of history in Nigeria. But
I'm not saying what helps or what doesn't help now. Stay with me, Chief. I'm saying what's probable.
For how long have they had ANC in South Africa? For how long have they had Democratic Party and Republican Party in America? Even to maintain some nuisance value, PDP will still have to be around. You cannot just say history should be killed like that.
I'm not saying it should be killed like that.
You want it to die off?
No. I don't want any of this to happen. I'm talking about strictly what I can see, what is probable, what's possible. With God, after all, Nigerians are the number one in terms of believing in God. With God, all things are possible. But probability is what I'm talking about right now.
Yes, you may be right, but I'm telling you, in politics, I do not see Sowore as that kind of day-to-day politician. But now he's in the game. So if they reach out to him and they want salvation for some troubled political souls, I look forward to PDP.
So who do you envisage will actually be the nose and reach out to Sowore among the PDP chieftain that we know today?
I think I will give it.
that would lower their coconut head and do that?
There are people there. They know that they are struggling for the.
Who is Saraki? Is this Saraki or Atiku? Atiku, which one?
All these people that you would have reported on, they will not be comfortable with him, but there will be elements that are more cool-headed. The liberals within the that would want to say, oh, let us try somebody like Sowore can actually govern. Sowore would even do better than a Peter Obi that has gained so much traction in the last 2 days. Peter Obi.
So I agree with you. On the right platform, Sowore would do so great. But Sowore has coconut head. He doesn't want to join any other platform.
That coconut head would have to be set aright, and then you can see him thinking for the good of the larger number of Nigerians than what pleases him as a person.
And that's fine. And I think his coconut head is just 5% of the coconut head of the people that are running PDP. They will never reach out. Don't let me say never. Never say never.
Well,
it's highly unlikely.
They know that somebody like you is taking a bet on them not yielding or bending. That again may even touch them.
I dare them. They won't do it. I dare them.
Well,
I double dare them. They won't do it.
Let's continue to watch. Let's continue to watch. Politicians are incurable comedians as well as being incurable optimists. Anything can happen.
And last but not least, incurable coconut head. They can't help themselves. But anyway, let's leave it at that. Let's move on to the next story. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you are notified whenever we go live. We'll see you in about 20 seconds. All right, banking industry rottenness. Bode George, is it Admiral Bode George, the retired
Commodore
Bode George? I remember him growing up being one of the a few military governors that went through Ondo State. I was reporting on this on our other platform, Men of Prestige, and I mistakenly said that his children were my classmates in Akuna. That was in Akuna. No. That was Olukoya.
Olukoya's children were your classmates at Akuna College.
Yes. So I stand to be corrected. So this is Bode George. I think Bode George was before Olukoya, correct?
That's right. Bode George was commander. Sunday Olukoya was a Navy captain, and his children were your contemporaries at
Aquinas College.
Aquinas College, Akure. St. Thomas Aquinas College, Akure.
Yes. So Basheri Nio, this Baba just woke up one day and decided to drag the dead. No, that's not what happened. But it was being reported as dragging the dead. But I think this video was before the passing of Herbert Wigwe, the CEO, the late not CEO, the late chairman, managing director of Access Bank, who passed away about a week ago now from a helicopter crash in California. But this news is about a video that came to the surface of sorry for that. The retired Commodore politician, PDP politician. This Baba is salty, but Chief, let's just call it what it is. But I'm going to play a short video, okay, and then we'll talk about it because. And I gotta try to make sure we keep this on time. But let's just play this video, and then we'll talk. Let's see.
How can an MD, who the heck is Emefiele, Elumelu? What did he do? Where is the factory? He was a bank man, a floor bank man. Somehow got license. At the same time, we are Adeola. All of them stupendously wealthy now. Wigwe, who became MD of Access Bank, immediately with the other young man left, has now established a university. he has the temerity to be advertising that university on CNN. Wigwe University. That's personally established by him. Where is the money? Where is his faction? Access Bank. What is the practice? They release dollars to them on monthly basis. They use the dollars. If it's at 1 to 100, they will get it through the mailer to say 1 to 200. You see that profit. What do they do with it? Who are the commercial people that really need it and get it? Most people get back to the mala to buy. No, you hardly will get from the bank unless you're
high up there.
That commercial activity. So what they had done to this nation, they must all be invited for discussion, because the rottenness started from that, and it's been going on for years. But it has exploded now on our faces. And what Emefiele did, have you ever seen any central bank of any country giving personal loan to individuals? Are we mad? What was going on in his head? Commercial bank? You turned the central bank to a commercial bank. Central bank that should be responsible for your fiscal and monetary policies. They forgot completely. And then he had the temerity to say, I wanted to contest as president because he has stolen so much money.
All right, so I want to hear your thoughts on that. I'm not sure. There's another clip where he mentioned about Wigwe, but it doesn't matter. It's just saying the banking system.
He mentioned him there.
Okay. So let me hear your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you very much. Baba Bode George, Commodore Bode George, I'm sure he will recognize us by our last name. But the deal is that he struck it really hard to the heart concerning his passion against them. The way he spoke about them, the way privileged Nigerians have dealt in currency speculation. That is a thing.
Absolutely.
See, let me cast your mind back. You probably may not know our late cousin, Akifashuyi Abitogun. Nigerians will remember him as Akifashuyi, with one other person known as Harold. I've forgotten the last name of that Harold now. Back then, when it was not yet an open thing, they were dealing in currency stuff. Maybe they were calling it second tier thing or what have you. And if people like Auntie Julie Coker is watching this now, she can connect with what I'm saying. For exactly what these people did, they did not even do it to this point, but they were involved in currency speculation. Nigeria treated them like common felons, sent them to prison. I don't know if you have ever heard it. The son of late Akifashuyi works with a major Nigerian television network, even as you and I are talking. They don't answer to their father's name. Maybe because of the blight of that man, I mean, being jailed by fellow Nigerian elite of the time. They were scapegoated. So if this could be a crime for which somebody could do time in Nigeria of 60s and 70s, for which Akifashuyi and his friend Harold or partner, for which they were convicted, I mean, for which they were imprisoned. So Baba Bode George is right. I mean, affording us the lessons of history that many of us have forgotten. That Nigeria never used to be this compromised, never used to be this jaded. But that in the time in which we live, all kinds of things are done in the system and people get away with it. Look at the way several Nigerians lost money when Naira notes were changed ahead of the 2023 general elections. How many Nigerians committed suicide? Look at how many Nigerians are still committing suicide today. All these people that have been fingered by Bode Judge, who is better to point out the contradictions in our jurisprudence or legal system, the way the rule of law works in Nigeria? Bode Judge himself was under 2 years imprisonment for contract racketeering, allegedly. Later we find out that these things were orchestrated just to destroy him, not just in person, but also in politics. In spite of, his years of working for Nigeria, not just as a gentleman soldier, but also as somebody that really understood the system. He himself had articulated his achievements elsewhere on how he saved Nigeria so much money, working as chairman of a Nigerian port authority under Obasanjo. He was not given the medals like he was awarded for his military services to Nigeria. Rather, he was sent to prison. But people who have committed worse, more grievous things against the people and the government of Nigeria, working free. It's never happened elsewhere that a central bank governor will wake up one day and want to run for the presidency. So everything he was doing was matter of personal vendetta, a personal gain, rather than the good of the generality of Nigerians. Emefiele. So if Baba is calling them out, now, I did not do this much, yet I was imprisoned. Akifashuyi, the man from Musho, never did this worse. He was under prison terms. So what is now going to be the reward for people like Emefiele, and so on and so forth? But beyond that, you look at somebody like Elumelu. Yes, you would say he has benefited from currency racketeering, what have you. But unlike the people who have closed their heart to the advancement of the economic stuff for Nigerian people, he continues to assist startups. He continues to encourage younger, struggling individuals to do better. You cannot compare between people who even benefited way off, like Dangote and Co., that would want to hang price tag of 10,000 naira on a bag of cement. You see the personal differences. Now, concerning Wigwe, I don't want to put him on trial because this is one sad situation. But ask me, what is in that Super Bowl for him, for which his family got crashed? But we have chosen to celebrate the way he impacted their lives. My company or me personally never benefited from his advert campaigns, what have you. But it doesn't have to get to that before I realized that they said he did well for some people. Finally, I have a question that bothers my mind, not to you, but to nobody in particular. The Wigwe family. Is there something jinxed about that family? I'm asking this. Is there something jinxed about the Wigwe family?
Let's ask the audience.
Way back in year 2000, I guess, whether it was 2000 or 1999 Christmas, one of the Wigwe's children, the father, this same father of Herbert, Wigwe, one of the children had just got married with his bride. They were coming from their honeymoon. I think one early morning, Christmas morning, and from Eleko Beach, and then they ran into the convoy of Minister Dapo Sarumi, who was coming home for Christmas holidays in Epe. The Wigwe couple had head-on collision with the backup pilot car of the minister. The driver of the pilot car, the Wigwe couple, they all died on the spot.
What year was this?
It should be December of 1999, if I remember clearly.
And this is a sibling to him.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I happen to know because this was what led to the removal of Dapo Sarumi by President Olusegun Obasanjo from his cabinet, because the gale of criticism was too much. And when he was removed, later in the evening, Dapo Sarumi appeared on Pont Blanc, which used to be anchored by now somebody, doctor, but now Professor Tony Iradia, the former Director General of NTA. And the sad note about it was that as a journalist, I had accompanied the minister from Abuja on a flight from Abuja to pay condolence visit to the bereaved Wigwe family. We were welcomed by the old man Wigwe with, I wouldn't know, but let me disclose this. In spite of the SSS protection for the minister and all of us that were there with police, he welcomed us with gunshots, almost killed us. We were scattered, panted, ran for their life, and we all met at the airport, taking different channels and the routes to find our way back. You know, that's one thing I remember about that family. So, how many years now since then? 24, 25 years. Here we are now again with that same family. So, I do not know if there's anything that is jinxed about them, but give this to the Wigways. The old man Wigwe at 89 deserve, I mean, with his old wife, they deserve our sympathy. We condole with them. He served not just as
I guess this was 2001. The still report is still on the internet. It was 2001.
That's right.
The minister's convoy killed a newlywed couple.
That was the story. You know, I mean, I'm giving you this report firsthand.
And was this this is just coming to you, or you saw this in the last few days somewhere?
No, it's coming to me. Remember, I mentioned it the other day that if it's the same Baba Wigwe that was DG of NTA, then this is really sad. And this, I mean, I have a confirmation because I was in the convoy that visited. I was in the entourage that visited him in his Port Harcourt GRA house, where he decided to point the gun at all of us. If a minister that was Sarumi is alive, he can confirm firsthand what I'm saying.
So they're saying it was a cousin of the Wigways. There was a cousin, a Victor and a Naomi, 28, 29 years old, and their cousin was a Wigwe. So, yeah.
So that is just the situation then. So if there's something jinxed about that family, it may not be in their destiny, but yeah, we continue to pray for the best that Nigeria's brightest and most promising should not just fall or should not die off this way. And it's so tragic that his wife died, his son, Bimbo, Ogunbanjo, you know, all these people. Very sad, very sad. So, Baba George, it may look like he's venting his anger about the way the system is not fair to everyone across the board. That is a good one.
All right. So, my sentiment about this story was that, that he was extremely good at spelling out our problem, or about complaining about our problem.
You mean Baba Bode George?
Yes, Baba Bode George.
Yes, don't forget. See, don't forget that Baba Bode George too was in some way involved as a problematic Nigerian leader. When he was done with his, you said?
I said you beat me to it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, when he was done with his tour of duty in Ondo State, you remember what African Concord reported that he said in those days? When he was asked,
what do you want
to be remembered for? He said that a Lagos boy passed through Ondo State. I don't know if he was talking about his legacy of beautification of the state, or the alleged massive looting of the resources of the state in terms of our cocoa riches.
Under his administration.
But remember his wife who later jilted him. Sorry, I can relate to that, but his wife who later jilted him was also alleged to have slapped a director general, like permanent secretaries were designated in those days. But that permanent secretary then, or that director general, if you will permit me to mention, Mr. Stola Ajayi, who later served as an INEC federal commissioner in Abuja, was said to have immediately she gave it back to the Ijaw.
Wala. Anyway, let's leave that.
Right.
Let's leave that.
And finally, years later, when I interviewed Mrs. Stola Ajayi, she refused to deny or confirm.
Voila. I'm not really But yeah, like I was saying, my sentiment was that this Baba is good at spelling out Nigeria's problem, but he provided no solution. And to outrightly call the operations that Wigwe and Elumelu have created, to outrightly call it, where is their factory? A bank? To me, that is, as we call it, that's scap.
No, it's not scrap. How can you say scrap? What is digging at is these people should put good money into setting up manufacturing firms and what have you.
No,
Something tangible.
I'm just going to say so we can move on, because, again, I think he was really good at spelling out our problems. He brought nothing else to the table. There was nothing. He was just talking about our problems. Okay?
And you will be talking as a new Nigerian, but I think he paid his due.
No. I said I'm talking about in that conversation. In that conversation,
you needed him to provide solutions.
He offered nothing other than telling us what the problem is. Okay.
He did. He spoke about their involvement in currency speculation. Then he had, where is their factory? In other words, he was asking, you must build factories.
But a bank is a freaking institution. What do you mean? Where's your factory? That bank is providing services to the regular Nigerians.
No banker should be that. Should control the kind of stupendous wealth these people have been. Ascribed to these people.
We will have to disagree, not particularly on that point you just made, but there's more. There's more to it. There's more to where that Baba is coming from. If he's asking where is that factory, we have to show me his own factory. Until then, we're just going to have to leave that conversation there, because none of them...
you never can tell. These Lagos boys. Remember, on those people will remember a Lagos boy once passed through Akure.
No. Baba Bode George is a politician now. Does he have a factory somewhere?
You can never tell if he has a factory in Hong Kong or in Lagos.
Chief, let's keep this conversation very simple. Does Bode George have a factory somewhere? We might not know, it's possible. But does he? That's the first question that I have. Does he have a factory somewhere? Granted, Elumelu and Wigwe, and forget Emefiele for a second. But those two, they don't have a factory. And Otedola, granted, he's right. But does he have...
Otedola has a factory.
You missed my sarcasm. My point is that this Baba is asking this with a factory, right?
Okay, now
does he have a factory? Does he have a factory? Does he have a son who have factory? Or this is just another opportunity to incite Nigerians to be more angry about the problems that I said is very good as well. He spelled out our problem. Part of our problem is that there are more. Wait now.
Maybe to conscientize Nigerians.
Okay, maybe. Maybe. He did a good job at spelling out our problem. Our problem including that some of these biggest guys in Nigeria, either they are pastors or politicians or wealthy guys, they have mob activities behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. Now we know. We didn't know before. Thanks, Baba Bode George. Do you have a factory? If you don't have a factory, please somebody tell us, because I'm not following him. Maybe he has a factory somewhere, because that's the question he asked them. Where is their factory? Just a bank that rose all the way from number 69 all the way to number 5 in Nigeria, which obviously means providing jobs for a bunch of people. Yes, with some mob activities behind the scenes. I agree with all of that. Does Baba have a factory? If Baba does not have a factory, we have to talk more about this one later, because I need to ask for somebody. Somebody's asking me behind the scenes, and I need to give them the answers to that.
Right. What are they asking?
They're asking, does Baba have a factory?
Good one.
We need to know for somebody, okay? Because that's his question, But let's address the last story for the day. We'll be back. We want to know. Please tell us in the comments too if you're watching live or replay later on. We appreciate you all. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, and turn up your notifications so you can see us whenever we come live. I'll be back. We'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, but Chief, I see you are cleaning your. All right, good. All right. So there's this report on Punch NG. It says Forex crisis, Atiku's solution will hurt economy, says Presidency. This actually was happening today, Sunday 18th, 2024. The Presidency has said a controlled flotation of the naira to prevent further devaluation would only return Nigeria to the economy regime of the embattled former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. He said the policy, which saw about $1.5 billion spent monthly to shore up the naira, fueled financial malpractices such as arbitrage, which hurt the economy. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, made this assertion in a statement he signed on Sunday titled, "Once Again, Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar got it wrong." Ononuga was responding to a former Vice President and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, at the 2023 polls, Atiku Abubakar, who argued that Tinubu's economic policies, especially the unification of the exchange rate, were implemented hastily without adequate planning and proper consultation with stakeholders. That's what he said. He said the wrong policies of the Tinubu, and I quote, "The wrong policies of the Tinubu administration continue to cause untold pain and distress on the economy, and the rest of us cannot keep quiet when the government has demonstrated sufficient poverty of ideas to redeem the situation. Given Nigeria's underlying economic conditions, adopting a floating exchange rate system would be an overkill. We would have encouraged the Central Bank of Nigeria to adopt a gradualist approach to Forex management. A managed floating system would have been a preferred option." All right, let me hear your thoughts on that. I hope you hear me clearly.
Well, I had. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Two things quickly. I would like Mr. Bayo, whether Onanuga, Abio Onanuga, to talk to the nation or to talk to journalists, all of us, about the proper tone, the tonal talk for articulating his last name. Is it Onanuga? Is it Onanuga or Onanuga?
Sounds like the same difference, but continue, sir.
Yeah, it's just in the tonal. That is Yoruba. It's almost like you're striking that musical note.
Onanuga. That sounds.
Onanuga. Onanuga.
Onanuga. That would sound more like Abamondo. Onanuga.
But this man is from Ogun State, so it depends.
Onanuga.
But I would suspect that the correct pronunciation would be Onanuga. But
okay.
Don't let us dissipate too much energy on the proper pronunciation of his name. Now, I find it oxymoronic to talk of controlled flotation. Controlled flotation.
Controlled.
These are controlled. Then you float.
Controlled
flotation. That's right. You want to control the naira, it therefore means that you want to peg the exchange rate. You want it to float. Oh, free fall.
Yeah, let's just pretend there's not an open market somewhere.
It's free market. Let it find its bearing.
Yeah, but the suggestion of control is to say, let's just pretend for a while that there's no such thing as free market. Let's make it what we want it to be, essentially, right?
Yes, and there is no crime about that. You had the Oba Olufala the other day saying that when this idea of deregulation, particularly devaluation of the naira, was conceived of when he was the Minister of Finance under the administration of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, that it was not meant to be like this run-away situation. This one has really gone out of control. This is really crazy. It is loony. Now nobody can rein the naira in easily.
Yeah.
The way it's going, this free fall, it may hit 2,000 or 2,500 naira.
But there's a bottom somewhere. There's a bottom. Where's the bottom?
That is what we don't know. So you want to control it, you will bring it back, rebase it, and just say this is the value. After all, when the naira was first introduced with the withdrawal of the whole pound note that Nigeria was used to, that was the way they did it. So nothing says that this cannot again be done somehow, but making sure that it is supported by domestic production, manufacturing, agricultural involvement, making sure that the leakages in terms of crude oil prospecting and sales, those leakages, that they are blocked effectively, and then to let us know what accrues to the country in terms of sectoral revenues. These are the issues that are involved, and thank God that they can tackle Atiku the way they have done. But we have seen the result of their own suggestions. We have seen the.
You mean of the Tinubu administration?
Yes. What has not been put to test is the Atiku suggestion. I do not know if.
So Atiku. So let me get this straight, because my comprehension is not as good as yours. What Atiku was suggesting was controlled flotation, right?
Yes.
And Tinubu administration is saying that's nonsense.
No, just leave it. Let it continue to float like that. No direction.
So they are both wrong. They are both wrong, in my opinion.
I do not know. You really don't know. See,
which is why I think they are both wrong. Which is why
journalists proceed with caution, like I told you. Until we are interested in the fact. The fact we have now is that the Tinubu administration has tried its own game plan, its own economic policies. The administration has rolled out its considered solutions, options.
This is what Sheyi Law was talking about. What he chose to say, what he wanted to say, which is the story that I cancelled out, was that he chose to stay in the wilderness all the way to the end. Well, how many months are we in that we're saying that Tinubu's administrations and his policies and his ideas have been tested? In what capacity? What do we mean by it's been tested?
Already, see, these guys came into power more than 7 months ago. In 2 months' time, they would have been 1 year old in office. If somebody is going to go crazy, even 1 day is enough to let everybody see the demonstration.
No, they have to be. Don't get me wrong. They have to be held accountable. Don't get me wrong.
And that is what we are doing.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that they have tried their own tricks. They brought their tricks out of the bag, and is it working well for everybody? Everybody is mourning. Everybody is groaning, and everybody. Look at Labour saying that this is not the inflation rate, the devaluation of the naira, and the performance of the economy is not commensurate with the money, the quantum of money available to the average Nigerian citizen. And that something would have to be done urgently. And remember, some labor leaders suggesting that the way things are going, 1 million naira would not even be enough as minimum wage for the average Nigerian worker.
Yeah.
So
that's if you keep counting it in naira. That's the problem. In the present day naira.
Well, people have also told us that it is criminal and almost inconceivable to want to dollarize Nigeria's economy. So what we know is the naira. They should value it properly. They should stimulate production in all facets, not just crude oil prospecting without considering the hazard for the environment. They should look at, if they are saying Nigeria will not consider the option of importation at this moment. What is the option? You want people to go to the farm and be more, pay more attention to economic, agricultural productivity. Have you put in place that security arrangement that will guarantee the safety of the average Nigerian farmer? I've told you my personal experience, how my farm manager was almost killed. You have seen the troubles that the average farmer in Ayede, the average farmer there, the trouble he or she faces. Are they ready to make sure that cows ranging free do not destroy farmlands? Are they ready to even when you talk of a cash crop, do you know that these days people do not even allow the cocoa pod to ripe before they go to the farms, and they steal everything, they pluck and steal, and they if they meet the farmer there, God save such a farmer, because he's going to be tied and killed. You see people, using a young, what's it called? That newly grown cocoa fruit. They use it as substitute for okra. I don't know how anybody would turn little cocoa stuff to okra. All kinds of abuse against nature and the plants and what have you. So these security arrangements are not there. You are saying, oh, people should just go out there and no. Like Yorubas would say, you can send another person's child on an errand on which he will not return until nightfall. Now.
Right.
This is what is going on. So if these people can put themselves in the shoes of the average Nigerian who will leave home, do not know if he will return home after commuting the major highways, or the ones that would be kidnapped, or the schoolgirls that would be stolen from their dormitories and taken into wherever to be auctioned off on the block as modern slaves in faraway places like Sudan and the Middle East and elsewhere. Things are so complicated, and we are not ruling out the possibility that Tinubu may stumble on a solution or work out a solution deliberately. What we are saying is that no option should be dismissed or casualized like they are trying to do to Atiku Abubakar.
Right. That's better. That's more appropriately put. It's not that they're both wrong. It's just that there's so much more to this conversation
Everything should be on the
than
table.
than Gbasgbos just to
Goes back.
capture political, you know, all this
Yes, theatrics.
they're just making noise for no reason. Yeah,
That's
theatrics
right.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And cacophony.
so controlled flotation is actually not particularly a thing. What they have is managed float, which is a type of exchange rate regime where a currency's value, I'm reading, where a currency's value is primarily determined by market forces, supply and demand, but can be influenced by occasional interventions from the central bank. These interventions aim to stabilize the exchange rate or steer it
Who
in a
is giving this
particular.
definition? Whose the viewpoint is it?
This is I have many sources here actually. Let me tell you what the source is. The source, I can't see the source right now. Sorry, it's just pulling it from encyclopedia and stuff.
All right. That's
And then they
credible
have
as well.
right. So they also have the dirty float. This is another term for a managed float. It emphasizes the fact that the exchange rate is not entirely clean. So across the world, everywhere in the world,
So
obviously
from
here,
the two
right?
from the two definitions you have just highlighted, you don't think what they have now is dirty float?
No, I don't know that. That's what I'm trying to say.
It looks like that to
and
me.
I'll tell you that the optics, because of the fundamentals of the state of Nigeria economy, the optics will make anybody's move in the short term look dirty, because Nigeria is such in a bad state that everybody mama scramble trying to figure out the way.
I give that to you because you are tempering that with your background as somebody who has run some advanced courses or master's program in engineering management. So I give that to you. But the truth of the matter is that it would look to me like what we have going on with them. Let them just put everything on the table, but it looks like this is dirty flotation.
Okay, so they need to do something. They need to use more reorientation of an average Nigerian mind, and that takes a lot of patience. And I don't think an average politician is set up that way, because
So,
they've overpromised themselves into a
Yes,
hole.
and how do they do that in a system that has destroyed public education? So reorientation of the mind. You know how many children are out of school right now? Over 2-point-something million.
I don't even want to know.
I mean,
That's-
over
that's
20-point-something million all over Nigeria. In some states, as high as 2-point-something million. So reorientation does not come cheap. They must equip the public schools.
You're right. It doesn't come cheap.
Making sure good money is put to health and public workers and people in the private sector as well are given proper wages. Now, they are talking of a marketing board. One last word on that before we close today. This marketing board that they are mentioning, anybody would think they did fantastically well. No, they did not.
Loriro.
No, they did not. My father, your grandfather, was a big farmer. You know how many cocoa plantations he had. How much was he making from that? The people that were making the money were the managers. So corrupt in those days at the marketing board. Yes, all the money would leave from the cocoa farm in Ayede Ogbese, from Idonre, from everywhere, would empty to the pockets of privileged elite in Lagos and Ibadan. And thanks to the memory of a former military vice president, remember Mike Ohai Ahigbe, who later became the governor of Ondo State. He did so much.
He was military vice president. He was.
Yes, he was a vice president to, I think, Abdusalami Abubakar.
Oh, okay. Yes. I think so. You're right.
Yes, and thanks to him, when he was governor of Ondo State, he contributed so much sweat, blood, tears, and toil to tear the nonsense apart, to tear it down. So if people are now becoming so nostalgic about what they hardly understand, I think is a pity and is a shame. Those people were just exploiting the farmers in those days. Everybody was working for them. If, of course, they would bring it back to make sure that money realized will go into education and social infrastructures, so be it. But to enrich some people like they did in those days, no, no, no. We don't want slavery anymore. We don't want economic subjugation anymore. People like ordinary folks in Nigeria will not be working on the farm. Baboon they work, monkey they shop am. It won't happen anymore. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Anyway, just to finish this session today, we need to be clear about this. This is February 2022. Official number $1 was $419. Can you believe that? 2022. By February 2024, we're at $1,500, $1,500, $1,600, somewhere between that. It's fluctuating, but so that goes to tell you how bad things are. And for me personally, it's very simple. As long as Nigeria is buying more than they are selling to the rest of the world, this problem is going to loom until they hit rock bottom, no matter how much they try to control. Control is part of life. Sometimes you have to control things for short-term gain, but they need to have a plan for long-term gains, and they need to spread that out to the general public to also sow some seeds of hope into the people, because if people feel confident in the future, the economy will thrive. They will get to work. But right now, like you were saying earlier on, everything looks very dirty. And if it was Atiku that was in that office, it will still look dirty too. So everybody just need to kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't do roll for precisely what I'm talking about. This is going to be hard.
That's right. I got that wash show, uncle.
This is going to be very hard. It's going to be a hard journey.
Yeah, well, you're not holding the cutlass, Ola. You know the Agada. Well, you're not holding the cutlass. Mashombai. And you know Agada, the ceremonial sword that we used to dance. You know, that ceremonial thing.
Right. They said that's from Benin, by the way.
Get to the field, and then we know.
We'll see how far you go.
You are.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for another awesome session. Please help us hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, follow on Facebook, follow on TikTok. You're watching Sharp Edge News TV. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you next week right here on Sharp Edge News TV. Bye now.
Cheers. Bye.